Namaste, you guys. This video, I wanted to talk about my symptoms that I have associated with my autoimmune deficiency. The other video that I just posted saying I have what? Question mark. I talked about how I discovered what was going on with me, but I never really talked about the symptoms that I was having. And honestly, it took me a long time to figure out the symptoms that I was having was associated with the autoimmune deficiency. And part of that was due to the person that I was in a relationship with at the time, the same person that helped me with the whole my body going numb and that kind of whole debacle. Even though they were with me throughout that whole thing, and they were with me at the doctor's appointments, and they were with me when I was diagnosed with having lupus, they were more in denial about it than I was. So when I was having the symptoms long ago, I did I was trying to, at that point, like I said, I was really trying to stay in tune with my body and what was going on with it. So if I was having something go on, I would be like, do you think that this is associated with the autoimmune deficiency? And they would be like, no, that's not it. That's not it. You're trying to make it be something than what it really is. Or because you're thinking about it so much, you think everything is a part of it. So, and because I was in denial, I was like, yeah, you're right. But the symptoms that I was having back then were rashes and fatigue, extreme fatigue, and photosensitivity. Now, photosensitivity, if you are not familiar with the term, is simply put, is you are extremely sensitive to light, to sunlight, UV, all that kind of stuff. So for people that have extreme cases of this, that means like sometimes the really, really bright lights in a building could hurt, not could bother them. It might hurt them. It might, do something crazy to them. I do have a little bit of that, but not to the extreme where inside light hurts me. The light that hurts me is sunlight, direct sunlight. It's crazy, right? The one thing that we need to live, not one thing, but one of the main essentials that we need to live hurts me. So just quickly to go over that, the rashes that I was having would be mainly on my neck. Now, the first rash that I really started paying attention to started on the back of my neck, right here. And I did not know that it was associated with lupus. Now, it started out with just like a tiny itchy spot. From what I can recall, it was a tiny itchy spot on the back of my neck, and just, without thinking about it, I would go and I would scratch. And over time, I started to realize, well, this itchy spot isn't going anywhere. It's not going away. So I started putting hydrocortisone cream on it to try and soothe the itching and to help make it go away. It wasn't going away. And then I called the attention. I had the person I was with at the time, I had them look at it. I was like, what does this look like on the back of my neck? And they were like, well, it looks like a large bruise. I'm like, are you serious? There's a freaking bruise back there? So they took a picture of the back of my neck, and it was a bruise probably about this big, that big on the back of my neck. I have pictures. And those bruises, I didn't know why I had gotten them or what was going on. Like I still don't know why it was a bruise on the back of my neck. And the only thing that I can associate it with is at the time of me having that particular flare up. After a while, I realized that scratching was not going to help. So I started slapping the back of my neck. You know how girls be slapping they weaves when they slap their hair when it's time to get a perm. that's how I was slapping the back of my neck. So I don't know if because I was slapping the back of my neck, if that constant motion was causing my skin to bruise there. No clue. I don't know. And the person I was with at the time was like, yeah, it's because you slapping the back of your neck. So, and then along with the rashes, I would also have fatigue. Fatigue, everybody gets sleepy. Getting sleepy is not even the word to really explain how fatigue feels. I would say the best way that I can think of describing fatigue is you have stayed up for 24 hours. And if you've ever done this, you stayed up for 24 hours, and it is the hardest thing for you to keep your eyes open. The moment you stop moving, you fall asleep just like that. It doesn't even matter. Somebody can be talking to you, you could be laughing, fall asleep. That is how fatigue had me. We would go over to family's house for dinner, and we'd get there really early to just kind of chill out and help. And 15 minutes into us being there and food is still cooking, I would fall asleep on the couch. I would fall asleep until dinner is done. And then after that happening so many times, the person that I was with was like, what's going on with you? I mean, that's not cool. Every time we come to dinner, you don't never help. You always fall asleep. And I'm trying to explain, I can't help it. I wish I could stay up. It's not like I am doing this on purpose. And it was really difficult for me to try to explain to someone who didn't want to hear that I couldn't help the fact that I was so tired. And I was trying, at that point, I was like, okay, well, maybe, then I started psyching myself out. Maybe, something, I don't know what I was trying to tell myself, but I would take green tea pills to try to give me extra oomph. I was drinking matcha. I was drinking different type of herbal teas to try and keep me up, and it would keep me up like in the first part of the day right after I drank it, no doubt about it. Like it gave me a rush to the point where I felt like I could hear colors. Let me repeat that. I felt like I could hear colors. Like that's how spazzed out I felt with drinking tea, because I don't drink tea, or I take that back. I don't drink coffee and Coke and stuff. I don't drink any of that. So any artificial injection of caffeine like that to my body just sent me out of whack. So I would drink it and it would give me a lot. It would give me a huge energy boost. But then you have the downfall of that. You crash, and crashing on top of fatigue was the worst thing ever. So I struggled with that. And the photosensitivity. Now this was one of the things that bothered me more than anything. The photosensitivity part, like I could be at the beach, like I said, or at the park, or just out and about running errands, and the sun would hurt my skin. It would feel like my arm or my neck or my face was on fire. And I would always wear giant sun hats, or always wear like a really, really thin, like cheesecloth thin cardigan on my arms just to keep myself protected from the sun. And when I would do that, the person that I was with was like, oh, you don't want to get any darker. Really? Those are the symptoms that I have, and I currently still do have them. I have the fatigue, I have the rashes, and the photosensitivity is still very much an issue. And it seems like it, as time is going on, it's getting worse. And I don't know if that's because the environment that we have made for ourselves here on earth, we are making the conditions worse. So I don't know if that plays a part into it, or if my symptoms are just manifesting more and coming out more. Now, what prompted me to make the video today was because I currently have a flare-up. I currently have a rash on my neck. Now, the rashes that I get on my neck recently they start here and then they migrate here. I know it sounds crazy, like who would think that a rash migrates? So how it works for me is a rash will start out here, and let's say the back of the rash closest to my the back of my head would start to go away. But as the back of the rash started to go away, the rash would spread. So it would go away in the back, but it would keep spreading here. Go away in the back, keep spreading, keep spreading, keep spreading, keep spreading. And I'm not sure if you can really see, but today it is right here. After looking at the video, I realized that the camera could not see any of the rash that I was attempting to show. These are pictures that I took after I made the video, as well as pictures I took a few days prior to making this video. The first set of pictures with the pink shirt on, I took that on Tuesday, I believe, and Tuesday's date was the 7th. And then I took more pictures on the 8th, and then the pictures that I took today, which you can tell because I have on the same maroon scrub top. But I realized that after making the video, I'd never even mentioned the previous picture. So that's what this is. As much as I would love to wear costume jewelry, can't wear it. My earrings, they're stainless steel, and I mean that I can get away with because my ears are gauged. So the jewelry that I buy for my gauged ears is stainless steel, so I don't have to worry about that with that. But necklaces and bracelets, if it's not 100% of the metal that it's supposed to be, like this one here is copper, but if it's not the metal that it's supposed to be, then it will break me out. So I thought my necklace was breaking me out, but when I didn't wear it, I was still having the issue. Then it wasn't until about 2 or 3 weeks ago that a light bulb went off in my head. I remember when I first started researching autoimmune deficiency, specifically lupus, I remember looking at pictures of what the rashes look like. And then, like, in the middle of the night, I woke up, I was like, hold on. I looked up a picture, and sure enough, now this isn't as bad as the pictures that I've seen, but like almost like a circle, sort of kind of moon shape rash is it. Now, I try not to really scratch here, and I try to make sure that I constantly put tea tree oil on it because tea tree helps with itching, as well as vitamin E oil to keep it moisturized and to combat any scarring that might happen because of the rash. So I try to keep it moisturized to cut down on the itching portion of it. But really, there's nothing that I can do with this other than put hydrocortisone. I always have a hard time with that word. Hydrocortisone cream or any anti-itching creams or whatever. I wanted to talk about my symptoms because in the other video I had been talking for so long that I didn't get a chance to talk about the actual symptoms that I have or that I had and am currently having. So that's what this video really is about, is just to talk about some of my symptoms. So if I know a lot of the viewers from the last video mentioned that they have family members that suffer from autoimmune deficiency. So if you know of any remedies that can help, especially with the itching or the fatigue, that's not a pill, and that's not drinking coffee or anything like that, any artificial stimulant, then let me know. I'll try it. It's got to be natural though. It's got to be natural. But other than that, let me know suggestions. I'll try it, see how it works. I'll share that with you. Until the next video. Namaste.